So welcome everyone to the fourth night of the live meditations we are doing together. It's a pleasure to be together again. And tonight is Wednesday, and normally Wednesday evenings I come together with the community I lead, Mudita Mindfulness Community. And we usually explore a topic together, and then we do a meditation that is connected to that topic. And they're all right now doing this live stream with us. And so tonight what I would like to do is follow that format where I would like to say a few words on a topic, and then I will lead us together into a meditation. And the topic I have chosen to speak about tonight is equanimity and kind of finding balance between everything that is happening right now. There is a big climate of uncertainty and stress, and we are actually, all of us, struggling on a bunch of different areas of our lives. And one word I would like to say before I go into this topic of equanimity is about trauma. I was speaking to a friend today, and she shared with me that one of her friends is really triggered right now by what's happening because they suffered the Bosnia war. And so if any of us here have really had traumatic experiences that might be triggered right now due to what's happening, either because of the global panic, or because we have to stay at home, or because we go outside to a grocery store and we see people wearing gloves and masks, and that triggers something in us. So I want to say that, first of all, this could be happening. And in moments like this, we might give what we call the fight, flight, freeze response. So this is when the emotional part of the brain, the emotional brain, kind of takes over. And the emotional brain is much faster than the rational part of the brain. So into a response, kind of think of it like as if you thought you saw a snake on the floor and you jumped, and it took you a second to understand that that was not a snake. So there's that lag between us giving a response and kind of finding some calm or balance or integration. And we might be giving any of these three responses. So there might be a fight response. Maybe this could be wanting to know everything that's going on moment to moment, reading the news, taking a lot of precaution. There might be a flight. So there might be moments of not being able to look at it, not being able to cope and kind of checking out. And there might also be a freeze response. I was speaking with another friend earlier today, and she was telling me that she kind of feels a little frozen. So all of these responses are just the automatic emotional responses of the body, and it can take us some time to find calm and balance. It's important to remember that, both for ourselves and for the people around us, so that we can approach each other with that level of understanding and kindness. And in moments like this, it's really important to discern what will help you. So is it meditation? Because meditation might not always help, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed. Meditation might really make you look at that overwhelm more. So maybe What you might need could be to pet your cat, or to watch a funny video, or to hug someone, or to call someone. And we need this moment-to-moment discernment of what will help us bring ourselves back to that state of calm and balance. And it's important, especially in the context of tonight and every night when we meditate together, if you feel like meditation is not what you need in that moment, I encourage you to pause the practice and tend to your needs. The next thing I want to say is that all of us were having to juggle a lot of not knowing. So things like, should I travel? I have a friend who, for example, flew back home, and that was a decision. So should I travel? Should I not travel? Should I be reading the news or not? Or there might be a moment in the day where you're like, should I be working right now, or should I exercise instead? So here, if I may share 2 points of guidance. The first one is to keep the body in mind. Because when we especially use phrases like should or must, that's the thinking mind. That's our mind's kind of in which direction to go. And it's important for us to include the body because the body has a larger space of wisdom. For example, earlier today, I was on my phone connecting online on WhatsApp with people I love. And there came a moment where I noticed a sensation kind of rising up in my body. And I noticed I had been looking at my phone for too long. So that can be a moment for me to notice how I feel in the body and kind of pause or spend time on something else. And the second thing that can help, the second point of guidance, is what is called the middle way in the Buddhist tradition. So this is a really beautiful concept. It's finding balance. So it's staying away from all extremes and kind of finding, maybe losing and finding again that balance. So for example, if you were reading the news too much, kind of coming to the middle way, the middle ground, and reading less, or if you're feeling really uninformed and anxious about what you don't know, then maybe reading a little bit and then coming back again to the middle way. So this constant and moment-to-moment discernment really of what's the middle way, what's the balance. And I want to also share with regards to this global uncertainty, which is really much larger than all of us individually. We're asking questions like, what will happen to the global economy? What measures do we need to take? Or to different groups of people, what will happen? I know, for example, for women who are being violated by their partners and might have to stay at home with their partners during this time, there has been some measures in France taken for them. So we're really juggling a lot of different things while not knowing what exactly will be happening in a day even, let alone in a month. And so all of this preparation and caution is really appropriate and needed and wise. And we also need to be asking when or if it becomes too much, because sometimes we could also be getting caught up in the panic. And that's the moment to ask, is this serving? Is this serving me? Is this serving the people around me? There is a quote by Thich Nhat Hanh, who is Zen master. He says, if even one person on the boat stayed calm, it was enough. It showed the way for everyone to survive. So here he is talking about refugee boats. And he's saying if one person on the boat was calm, it kind of helped everyone else around calm down as well. Because as I was saying the previous few nights, we are in limbic resonance. We feel what the other people are feeling. And the other example of a wise person is Gandhi. So Gandhi is known even through the most turbulent times when he was trying to dismantle the British Empire's control of India, and there was a lot of action around him. He's known to be silent for at least one day a week and kind of just turn inward and listen and connect to his deepest and truest intentions, really, of how he wanted to come to action. And one of my teachers, a senior mindfulness teacher in the US, Jack Confield, he says, if you want to live a life of balance, start now. Turn off the news for a while, meditate, turn on Mozart, walk through the forest or the mountains and begin to make yourself a zone of peace. Let go of the latest story. Listen more deeply. When we react to insecurity with fear, we worsen the problem. We create a frightened society. Instead, we can use courage and compassion to respond calmly with both prudent action and a fearless heart. So right now, we might not be able to walk in a calm forest, but we might explore what it means for each of us to create a zone of peace and to engage in prudent action while not engaging or not being caught up in the fear and in the panic. And there's another beautiful quote by a Thai forest monk, Ajahn. He really gives a beautiful piece of guidance about adjusting expectations. So he says, when people say, Ajahn, let's go for a beautiful walk, fine, I'll go. If they don't ask, that's fine too. I don't expect a walk to be any more satisfying than sitting alone. It could be hot or windy out there. If people bring me delicious food, great. If they don't, great. I need to diet anyway. If I'm feeling good, that's okay. If I'm sick, that's okay too. It's a great excuse to lie down. So equanimity, or having a calm mind, is really this quote basically saying, that's okay too. So if I cannot be outside right now, that's okay too. It's an excuse for me to rest. It's an excuse for me to read the 20 books I was waiting to read. So how can we bring that attitude forward? The dictionary definition of equanimity is calmness and composure, especially in a difficult situation. And this is different from indifference. I really want to underline it, because indifference would be saying, what do I care? What can I do anyway? Let's not even try. But equanimity is trying, so there's wise action, prudent action, while maintaining composure. Ajahn Chah, he gives this image to his students one day. He holds up a cup and he says, to me, this cup is already broken. Because I know its fate, I can enjoy it fully here and now. And when it's gone, it's gone. So this does not mean that we should not try to protect the cup. We should care for the cup, and we can, and we will protect. And to understand that we don't always have control over everything, and to let go of that illusion of control can actually be very freeing and very calming. And it can help us in the protection. It can help us in the action we're trying to take. So I'll pause here for the guidance, and we will now shift into a meditation together. I invite you to find a posture in which you feel awake and relaxed. So this can be a posture where you are sitting and you feel awake and relaxed. Or you can also be standing. And as we begin, we will do a few minutes of anchoring, just like we have been doing. So if you are an experienced meditator, you might take a few deep breaths and then bring your attention to your anchor and just stay there for a few minutes. And if you are meditating for the first time, once you are in your posture, you can close your eyes or lower your gaze. And you can also begin by taking a few deep breaths, really relaxing the body. Each time you exhale, slowing down the breathing. Maybe counting up to 5 when you inhale, and counting up to 5 when you exhale. And then you can gently bring the attention to a place in your body where you can observe the breathing. So the flow of air through your nostrils, or maybe the rise and fall of your chest. Just observing how the body breathes. And the mind might drift away, might go elsewhere. This is normal. So each time you catch it, kindly bring the attention back to your breathing or to your anchor. And we will do some compassion first. Just to notice how you're dealing with everything that's going on and kind of respond to it in a kind way. And so for that, you might right now with regards to what's happening in the world. Looking for a difficulty that's not really overwhelming. So maybe picking something that's a 4 out of a scale of 10. And if the first thing you landed on was a 8 or 9 or 10, you can look for something else to work on. So something that's emotionally charged and difficult, but not overwhelming. Maybe something that happened at work, is a remark that was made, or a moment of personal difficulty you had when you were thinking about something. And once you recognize this difficulty, the invitation is to begin to allow and to investigate it. So instead of fixing it, and we normally very quickly go into this fixing mode, our intention is to get familiar with it, get to know it a little bit, and to allow it to taste at least for a few minutes here. So you might, for example, name the emotions. There might be many different emotions like sadness or stress or frustration. And each time you notice an emotion, you can also begin to notice what this emotion looks like in the body. Especially noticing the throat, the chest, and the belly area. But really any area in the body where you notice that there are some sensations, emotion. And really remembering the common humanity here as well. So this difficulty and these emotions or sensations you are experiencing, most likely other people in other places are experiencing similar difficulties. So this reminder that it's normal to be struggling right now. And even if the difficulties are not the same exactly, this reminder that globally a lot of people are feeling these difficult emotions right now. So this sense that we are in it together rather than alone. And then exploring how to give a kind response. So finding some inner resources. This sense of saying to yourself, I see you struggling. I care about you. I'm here for you. Maybe gently caressing one hand with the other hand and extending this compassionate touch. Or maybe saying to these difficult emotions like sadness or frustration, I see you, frustration. I will take care of you. So the question is, how can we open our hearts to the difficulties we experience and give this kind and caring response? And then you might begin to explore equanimity. So you might explore if it's possible in this moment at all to find some calm or composure or to relax a little bit. Ajahn Chah says, if you let go a little, you will have a little peace. If you let go a lot, you will have a lot of peace. If you let go completely, you will know complete peace and freedom. The world will have come to an end. So where can you let go a little bit? This sense of relaxing in the middle of a song while the song is still playing, without waiting for the final chord. And you might ask if it's possible to trust a future version of yourself. So you might imagine a future self, maybe in 1 hour or in 1 day or in 1 week or 1 year. Or the future self could be many years ahead. Maybe a much older and wiser version of yourself. And you might picture this future version of yourself. You might see what they look like, what they talk like. And you might see how they respond to you, how they hold you, and if they have a message. And if it's possible for you to trust this uncertainty to be resolved by this future version of yourself, or this problem to be tackled by this more wiser version of yourself. And also this possibility of trusting the universe as well. Noticing that the earth has been traveling through space with billions of people living and dying on it for many, many years. And noticing that there are so many things we don't know about the future. And how can we approach this situation with this don't know mind? So rather than really clinging to our views, to our opinions, to what we think should be done, or clinging to our fears and panic, can we simply say, we don't know, and let that be? Resting in this place where you are doing your best and everyone else is doing their best. We are taking this prudent and wise action, and we really don't have control beyond that. And so just resting here for the final minute of this meditation, Noticing how you feel in this moment, the qualities of your presence. And you might ask yourself or set intentions for how to connect to this balance, calm, composure, to this middle way, and to this equanimity throughout your day, to this mindset of don't know mind and this openness. So this concludes our practice for tonight. Thank you so much for joining and for practicing together. I know that a good amount of people have been joining these meditations every night or watching the meditations when they can and really connecting to this collective presence we have been building over the last 4 evenings, or whatever it is the time for you right now as you are watching this. So thank you so much. And if you have any questions about equanimity or about the middle way or about the practice we did tonight, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can write to me on Instagram or you can leave comments below the video on YouTube, and I will do my best to get back to everyone. So take care and see you tomorrow night for another practice.